right? So why would I want to change that here, right? Now, as I go back to the 15, I would want to kind of have the exact same scenario. If we do get this scenario that we close below the zone, then you're looking at a short position of somewhere in here, taking it to the next level, but again, bringing it back down to our previous lows right here. Again, this is another almost 4-to-1 scenario. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Professor Trades channel, and congratulations to our members and everyone who watched this video analysis. We took a nice sell opportunities on Friday from crude oil. Again, we kept respecting this trend line, and congratulations to a lot of people who generated over 100 points on crude oil. So, of course, the dying question is going to be, where is crude oil going now? So, of course, no one, including myself, has the ultimate answer, but I'm going to give you a breakdown on this video about support and resistance. I'm going to give you some Fibonacci levels, and I'm going to kind of share with you where this price action may end up settling before we start heading back up. Big OPEC meetings coming up now, delayed a little bit more towards later this week as well. But again, we are hearing of more production cuts. So if that happens, then we are going to have to look at possibly oil finding a nice support level and then looking to bounce from that support level. So all of that is also coming up in this video as well. And again, for those of you that are not yet aware, last week I launched a brand new app. You can either use it as an app or you can use it as a web browser, because in all different countries, you may not have access to one or the other. So again, if you go down to the link description, you're going to see a link on there. Join us in our app. I will guarantee you that whether you pick the annual plan, the monthly plan, or any plan that's currently available, you are going to make your money back and then some on just the trades and the trade signals that I share inside of the app. You'll be instantly notified. So I hope you take advantage of it. If you're unsure, jump on the monthly plan, try it out for 30 days. And if you don't get value, all you need to do is cancel. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about crude oil. Okay, so we are going to start on the current monthly chart. And again, just a reminder that if English is not your primary language, you can definitely turn on your closed captioning to see the subtitles in over 15 different languages. So we are currently sitting on the monthly chart. And as of now, from this low to this high, as you can see here, we did, as of right now, and again, the month is still active. We have about one more week left in the month. We have right now closed below the 61.8 Fibonacci level. Okay, we had come a little bit lower, down to 72.48, and then we had that rebound over the last several days prior to Friday's drop. So just kind of keeping that in mind, that as we are looking at the monthly levels, we can definitely see that where we are right now, if I draw this horizontal line, right, all of you should be able to see, and I'm going to remove the Fibonacci level, and I'm going to give you some massive value on this video, especially if you stay to the end when I'm going to give you some setups. You can just clearly see here, right, that on the monthly level, we have a price right now that has acted as both support and resistance. So we know that this $75 mark is a very strong area. Now, we don't know how this month candle is going to close, but as we move down on the other time frames, we really cannot ignore this on the monthly time frame. Remember, monthly, weekly is really where the big institutions are trading. So as retail traders, you need to spend time here so you understand what the big players are doing and where the money is being moved. Okay, so that is kind of our 30,000 foot view from the monthly chart. So what I like to do right now is just kind of keep this right here as we drop down into our weekly chart. Okay, because our weekly chart will also confirm what we just talked about on the monthly level. We are currently right in this area here. And again, you can just see here that as we kind of move, there was an area of resistance. We had another area of resistance here. We had another area here of support. So we understand that we are in a strong supply and demand zone for both support and resistance. Okay. Now, the interesting part about it is as we kind of zoom in now, right, on this weekly time frame right here within this bubble, and we go back and we add a Fibonacci level and we throw it from our swing low to our swing high. Again, here's kind of that confirmation, right? As we look at this, that um, and purple is just not doing it for me today. So let's go back to white for the good contrast. You can see here that we have not really been able to really close below this key area of about 75. Okay. Remember that zones are never a straight line. They're kind of an area, right? So that's kind of the area that we are looking at right now. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of drops with crude oil. And again, this could be the reasoning why coming up in those OPEC meetings, we're going to see some major price action because if all the players want to raise crude oil and they deepen cuts, well, that is going to definitely cause the price of crude oil to climb. In addition to that, as well, from what I have seen and what I have read, right? Price of crude oil to end 2023, they're looking for a settlement price of around $80 a barrel. Okay, that's all I spent a lot of time researching and reading. That tends to be the overall feeling of where crude oil wants to end by the end of 2023. So again, I think we're going to start being in a position, at least I am, right, as a person who wants to definitely buy the dips, right? I am not looking to really continue selling crude oil. I really want to look for opportunities to buy those dips. Now, will I sell? Of course. If I'm in a strong support and resistance area for the type of trading that I do, as far as scalping, I'll scalp sales all day as well. But for that long position, I'm really looking to be a buyer on heavier lot sizes on the buy side than I am on the sell side. This is where you begin to position yourself and your trading plan moving forward, especially if price continues to dip down. My strong feeling on this is we've got to be buying the dips. And because I believe crude oil is eventually going to continue climbing. And I do believe in around that 79, 80, $82 a barrel closure to end 2023. So whether you're trading it in Forex, whether you're trading it in the futures market, I think that's going to be about a settlement price. Obviously, futures traders have to look at their contracts because contracts change. But again, the overall, I think that's the sentiment on crude oil. So as we kind of go back into the chart here, okay, we can kind of see that weekly perspective. And I'm going to keep this highlighted because, again, this is where the major institutions are trading. They're not trading on a 5-minute. They're not trading on a 10-minute. They are trading on the higher time frame. So we have to understand the price action that's happening on a higher time frame. Okay. So as we kind of zoom in here a little bit and we really take a look at these candles, we can see here now we saw this wick rejection, which may have been the lowest that crude oil may go temporarily. We don't know yet, right? I have not a bias, but I believe we might even, have a quick pullback up and then go a little bit lower because they're going to want to get in at the best prices possible. And I'm going to be talking about in just a minute, they might be coming back down to take out some of these equal lows that are here as well. But we're going to cover that here in just a few minutes. So this is really the key area that we are focusing on right now, and especially this $75 price point. Is it going to break this key level of support and continue coming down? Okay. Or are we going to see price just continue to bounce off this area before that meeting and then we get a push back up towards higher levels? That's what we're going to kind of anticipate as we move forward. So let's walk it down now into the daily. I want to give you some perspective because obviously every time frame is going to give you opportunities to see something that you may or may not have seen or you may have missed. Okay. And so as we kind of move in, on this daily here, again, I do see right here, let me grab this right here. I think there's some equal lows here that they may come for. But again, that's 67. Are we going to go that low? I don't know. We eventually will see. But what I do know is that we are in this critical area. Okay. And let me show you why on the daily. And for that, I want to go ahead and grab a brush and I want to show you this right here. Okay. This area right in here, specifically right here, how price came below, closed below was the key word, came back up, and then we came back down to that level that I just talked about, right? Well, guess what? If we grab an arrow and we shoot it directly across, you've probably heard this before, markets repeat themselves, right? Are we going to get that exact same opportunity on a higher time frame here? Well, we can see here that we had a candle close and then we had a pullback towards the top of this area, and then we began coming down. So again, if you look right here, this is kind of a critical point that this also happened at the bottom of this zone. So we are approaching that as well. Okay. Because on a daily time frame, if we grab this Fibonacci level and we go from that high to this low, again, you can see here that we had a wick near the 88 and we're trending now back down towards that 61 or that 88. And that's going to kind of be important as we look at the price of crude oil in the days to come as well. So the question is going to be, are we going to get a repeat of this right here, which bring us back down into the lower 70s, upper 60s area, or are we eventually just saw this as a false breakout on the daily, and now we are just retesting this zone, and then from here we are going up. Okay, so those are the questions that we are going to kind of answer over the course of the next few minutes as we drop down in time frames. I'm going to give you entries on both buys and sells because as we are now doing in our brand new app, every trade signal and every trade alert that I trade, you are also going to receive. But more importantly, I'm going to make sure that you have a stop loss and that you have a target zone for profit and entry. Now, the stop loss is not going to change, but the profit levels, when I give you a 30, 40, 80, 100 pip profit level, that does not mean that you have to leave it open that far because you all know my strategy. After 20 pips, we secure profits or we protect profits. So every trade signal and every trade alert that you are going to get on the app, and you're going to get those instantaneously as soon as I hit go, it's going to hit on your phone. You can definitely look at the parameters, enter it on your phone, enter it on your platform, however you trade. A lot of these will be sell limits, buy stops, sell stops. So it's not like you have to jump right in. Some will be market execution. So again, I hope you take advantage of that. I want to see you grow. This is why I kept the price point so dirt cheap, which basically just covers the cost of me having this app and all the behind the scenes cost, because I want to just give you massive value. We're going to have 5, 10, 15 or more traders this year start making over $1,000 a month on trading inside the app. I want you to be one of those individuals. Come in, try it out. You have nothing to lose. If I don't get you back your 27 pips by the end of the month on the monthly plan, you will not pay the next month. That's how confident I am because I've been doing this for a long time. And our current members will also tell you that that will not happen as well. So going back into the chart here, this is kind of the look as we prepare to drop back down. Now, again, I actually love the 8-hour chart. I don't know how many of you, look at the 8-hour chart. I really like the 8-hour chart. It mirrors a lot of the day chart. And again, if you do not have the 8-hour chart, you may need to increase your plan in case you do not know. And again, this is not a plug. I'm not an affiliate with them, but TradingView right now has a still Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 70% off. If you use TradingView, I would highly encourage you to go to the highest plan that you can afford if you trade with alerts, because it's going to give you a lot more access to charts and alerts. And again, this video is not sponsored by TradingView. I don't have an affiliate with TradingView. I'm just telling you that it's a great price. It's how I joined on a Black Friday, and I continue to renew whenever they bring down pricing because you get a lot of alerts. And that's awesome for trading because, again, you set your alert and you can be anywhere in the world and get that alert. So let's get back over to our plan here. And so as we dive into the 8-hour, I want to kind of zoom in a little bit more so you can kind of see where price is at right now. And again, kind of the same philosophy here. Now, what's interesting, and I'm going to remove that Fibonacci level. Let's take a look at this. Again, we are sitting on the 8-hour. Let's take a look at this first movement up and what did it do with the Fibonacci levels. We came here, we came to the 0, and we came back down to the bottom of the zone, which is right in between that 61 and 88 area that we love talking about. Okay. Then if we grab another Fibonacci from where we took off here, and we just kind of just did this a minute ago, and we put it to where we are now, we're back in that 61 area, right? So I think this is going to really be our key target. And what is price going to do in this area? And I'm going to make it aqua just to change it up, right? Because I think this is going to be the determining factor. We only have two scenarios. We're either going to come back here, reject that bottom again, and then go back up towards these highs, or we are going to get a candle closure below, and then we are going to see the scenario I showed you a little while ago. We're going to come back up, and then we're going to continue dropping into the lower 70s or upper 60s as well to kind of mirror what we did right over here. Okay. So that would be that case scenario if this scenario over here happens on that. So we've kind of been walking it down. And now what I kind of want to do is kind of look at these entry opportunities as we move forward. So again, I want to kind of go here and I want to kind of go back over to this right here. I'm going to go ahead and remove the fib levels for right now because I want to give you a cleaner chart as we begin to go down. What I am not going to remove is this critical area that we are at, because obviously that's going to impact every time frame. So as we drop down to the 4-hour, this is what really we have to see and we have to wait for. Okay. Are we going to make a new lower low, which would have to be down in this area? Why? Because here is the most recent low. Okay. So we would have to move right from here. Let's grab here to here to make a lower low, right? So are we going to continue making a lower low? As you can see here, we have been kind of trending down, even on this trend line right here, right? We've been trending down. And that's why we also took that sell that I talked about at the beginning of the video, because we have been kind of riding that trend line. But if we are going to continue bearish, we eventually will make a lower low on the higher time frames, whether it's 4-hour or 8-hour. So again, this is why this $70 mark is just going to be crucial. But I think that will only happen, of course, is if we get price action to close below this aqua level. So keeping that in mind, let's go ahead now and label our gap is also now going to be right in here. Again, don't know if we're going to have any major news, any major gaps. We shall see when market opens on Sunday. But again, that is the kind of scenario that if we're going to make a lower low, we would have to come down here, lower low. We would have to come down to this area somewhere below this area. Okay. I'm just going to put it here, but just understand that would have to be below this area right in here. So let's drop to the 1-hour. And again, you can just see that push right here. We rode that trend line on several occasions, right? We had that. We could not close. And again, just a reminder that really is, the key word right? A lot of times you want to get anxious and you want to jump into that buy because you see it reversing. You have to let the candle close. My opinion, I know 5 and 10 is great, 15-minute charts, but again, I like to see the 1 hour candle for stronger confirmation. Okay, there's a lot of false breakouts on the lower time frames. I like to wait for the 1 hour. The 1 hour will really tell me if the sellers or the buyers are in control. If we break a critical support and resistance area, it's got to happen on the 1 hour or higher to really see who is in control of that market at that time. So here we are now looking at the um, 1 hour mark. And again, every level may have a different type of Fibonacci. So here we are. We are exactly right now at the 61.8 area. Okay. Let me kind of put that back there to show you, right? We are kind of now at that 61.8 area. So again, that's something that we have to keep in mind. But again, this aqua box is really going to be so important for the trading week coming up this week. Okay, we're coming off a holiday, lower volume. There was less trading happening because of Thanksgiving and what have you. So this is going to be a very, very key area, this area, especially the bottom of the aqua box where we already saw price once rejected. Will we take out those lows, come a little further down? We shall see moving forward. So as we kind of jump in here, and I want to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, now again, I'll have to move this as we go. Let's get rid of that. Let's kind of move our gap here. Let me drop this a little bit less as we move to the smaller time frame. That's going to be our gap right there, which also sits on the 61.8 Fibonacci level. So let's start looking for entries as we kind of look at what has been happening here. Definitely, if we come down into this aqua line, if we come back to retest kind of this area, one scenario that you would want to look at is that we can forecast is a long position. Okay. If we come back down in here, this could be a very fruitful long position because I would definitely keep the stop loss, probably like right here, just below this area, but enough to give you a little space for a false breakout. Okay, a false breakout. And again, you've got to understand that risk management, is going to be so important. So if you look at the scenario, it's a 3.6 to 1. But what you have to calculate when you calculate what your entry is going to be, to me, the most important thing is right here. How much are you risking if you lose that trade, right? So in this case, you would be risking 80 pips, okay, to try to obtain a maximum, if we take it right back up to these highs, of 322 pips. And now this is beautiful. You may not hold it to 322 pips. That's why understanding that calculating those 80 pips, right, that really should be where your risk plan is. That should determine your lot size. So if you get in at $1, can you take an $80 loss? And would an $80 loss still be 1 or 2% of your account size? Because that's what you should be risking, especially if you have a small account, even a large account, right? That's my opinion, 1 to 3% max per trade. So if that $80 mark is 3% or less, then you're good, right? That's a good risk to reward. But if that $80 mark, again, assuming you're trading $1 and you have a $100 account, you would be risking 80% of your account for that one trade. No go. You drop all the way down lot sizes until you figure out that it's only 3% or less of the trade you're about to enter. The profit side, we know will be more if you hold it, but you might close your trade early. You may not go max profit. You may get desperate and want to just close it in profit. Nothing wrong with that. What's more important is to calculate what you would lose if you lost a trade, because the profits you can control, and we're all happy with profits, but it's the loss. It's the psychological part, especially with this crazy hair going. It's a psychological part of the loss that if you do your homework before you enter the trade and hey, I've got a $500 account. If I enter at $1, I'm going to lose $80 on this setup. Do you want to take that trade? Is that percentage too high? If it's above 3%, I would tell you to bring it down to 3% or less per trade. Because if you get into a second or third trade and you forget you have that trade open and you risk 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% on those trades, next thing you know, it's just not your day and you're down 40% on your account size. So you've got to do this step for every trade that you take, no matter what you trade. Okay. So that would be the scenario here on that opportunity. Now, to counter that trade, it could be the opposite direction. If we get that position to close and for the retest, then you're probably looking at this scenario that we just had over here that we talked about from before. And again, you should always, try. Let me go back up to the 1 hour real quick so I don't have to scroll so much. You always want to look at what did price do. Let me close this here. What did price do before? You can see here we came up to the green line on multiple occasions and then we dropped, right? So why would I want to change that here, right? Now, as I go back to the 15, I would want to kind of have the exact same scenario. If we do get this scenario that we close below the zone, then you're looking at a short position of somewhere in here, taking it to the next level, but again, bringing it back down to our previous lows right here. Again, this is another almost 4-to-1 scenario. Let me move this over. Okay, so that would be the scenario for the candle that closes down in this area, comes back up to retest, and then continues in the downward trajectory to make a new lower low, right? So those are kind of the two scenarios right now kind of playing out. And again, if you're big on wanting to give yourself more room for stop above this high, you could, but I wouldn't, because if we close above this trend line, right, we're probably going to continue higher. So why not just knock it out right here? Okay, something like that. So you still have a 3-to-1 opportunity. Okay, so I think those are going to kind of be those scenarios as we move into the week and what is going to happen on either side of the coin. And again, hey, we will be updating this daily, hourly in our members group, which is now on our brand new app. So if you're in there, don't worry, we will provide updates. But just remember this, there is no reason in stressing. When you have a stop loss, an entry, and a profit level, you can put that into your phone and go do whatever you are doing for the rest of the day. There are only two scenarios in trading. You either win a trade or you lose a trade. Now, I get it. If you want to manage your trade, that's where you set an alert. And when you're 20 pips in profit, you decide. You can look at the price action. You may not feel good about it. You may like your profits and close early. I close early all the time. That's how I've built my account through the years. Small profits matter. It grows your account over time. It's kind of like compounding, right? Versus allowing a 20-point win turn into a 20-point loss. You should have secured those profits or broke even. But breaking even all the time is not going to pay your bills or move your account size up. So again, it depends on what you want to do, but please don't let a winner turn into a loser because you got greedy and didn't move your stop loss into the profit zone. So every trade that you will get in the app will have the 3 magic numbers that you need. After that, it's on you as the trader to manage your trade. You can cut losses early. You can take profits early. You are in control and we'll be guiding you as well. But at the end of the day, it's your account. I want you to own it. I want you to be accountable, okay? Because I want you to grow into being self-sustained as we progress into our 2024 goals as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will be doing other types of analysis. I will also be trading live in the app, which is something that most people do not know that we can do now in the app. So I won't need to set up links and share streaming. Everything can be done in the app. So I would encourage you to jump in there. We'll be trading in the app. I can give you feedback live right in the app. You'll get a notification. Your phone will turn on and you'll see me either sharing a chart or giving you information and advice on a particular trade we're in, or just in general with something that is going on regarding news or anything else. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this on Sunday, have a beautiful Sunday. If you're watching this after Sunday, have a great rest of your week. And don't forget, If you got some value, like the video. If you're brand new, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any of these videos. And then I also encourage you to watch the video that's going to be coming up here on your screen. This will help you with crude oil. This is a super easy strategy that talks about Fibonacci. And also go into the video description. I'm going to have some links there for you. Take a look at some of the resources. They will definitely help you out, whether you're a beginner or an advanced trader. We're almost done with 2023. We have some amazing things happening in 2024. As you know me by now, it gets real. You're not going to see flashy editing. You're going to see just authentic chart analysis so that you can make the best decision possible for you and your families. Have a great week, everyone.